Just wait to see who is here tonight. Friday night. Hello, people. Where are you at? Let me just wait a minute to give people a chance to come on. I want to talk to myself. One or two people will do. So if you're here, just let me know. Let me know if you're here. So it's another Friday night, and I'm just waving at Gerald Moses, and I'm waving at Juliet Pilgrim, and I'm waving at miserable Canute Patrick Campbell. Okay, guys, it's a Friday night, another Friday, and time is flying fast. Time is flying fast. So tonight's topic is the feeling overwhelmed, feeling like giving up, feeling hopeless. I think despite the availability of lots of information, that there are still many people who cannot seem to find that information. Just give me a moment there, folks. There are many people who still cannot feel. Sorry about that, I just lost you for a moment. So despite the stress, despite everything, despite all the information out there, people are still feeling depressed, people are still feeling overwhelmed. And I've been there. I've been there too. I think if you've lived long enough, you would have experienced moments in your life when you feel like giving up, moments in your life when you feel like there's no hope. And one of the things that helps in those situations is your will to move on, your will to overcome. You have to have a will. If you do not have that, nothing else will work. You must have a will. When you're feeling depressed, when you're feeling overwhelmed, you have to find a will to move on. And I know that I've not been in some of the situations that many people have been in, so I cannot speak for everyone. But from my experience, there are some things that you can do when you are going through challenging times. Instead of behaving like a victim, we all have that phase when we behave like a victim. But instead of continuing in that phase, you have to have the will to get out of your situation. If you do not have the will to get out of your situation, it doesn't matter what you do or say, you will not persevere. So you have to have the will to move on. So one of the things that I realize works when you are going through, and let me just say that it doesn't matter what you're going through. It could be a job lost, it could be maybe you're unhealthy, maybe there's something in your life that is preventing you from living your best life. It could be a relationship, it could be a divorce, it could be being single. Some people get depressed over that. It could be loss of a job, like I said before. It could be that you're in a job that you do not want. It could be stress at home with your family. It could be so many things that is making you feel like this. And this is one of the things that I see very often on Facebook, social media, where people are actually contemplating taking their own life because they do not think that their life is satisfying and happy enough. And one of the things, I think what happens when you reach to that point where you are thinking that you're gonna give up is because that you're thinking in the future or you're thinking in the past. So two things can actually have you behaving as if you cannot make it. You're depressed and you want to take your own life. It's because you are either thinking in the future and worrying about what the future holds, and it's based on your current situation, or you're thinking about what the past had what happened in the past to you, and you're thinking that because of your past that you cannot overcome. So either of these two, the mindset is gonna have you in a deadlock where you're thinking that you just want to take your life. So one of the things that you have to do when you're in that mode, when you get in that mode that you're thinking that you cannot give up, you're feeling overwhelmed, is that you have to bring yourself back to the present. You have to bring yourself back to the present. And I think this is one of the mistakes that a lot of people make, is that when they're feeling depressed, when they are experiencing a situation, is that they always they don't stick to the situation. They do not accept the situation for what it is. You have to do that. That's one of the things that you have to do. The best how to get through any challenging situation is to live in the moment. So this is one of the things that you have to do. I've done it, so I know it is possible. You have to bring yourself in the moment, regardless to what is happening, what has happened in the past, what is likely, or what you're thinking could happen in the future. You have to try to stem those thoughts and live in the moment. What is the moment? What is your moment? If the moment is that you're going through a stressful situation, a breakup, a loss of job, you do not have a job, whatever the situation is, you're gonna live in the moment. You're accepting that situation for what it is. Accepting the situation for what it is doesn't mean that it defines you, but it is what it is. And if you cannot see the situation for what it is, that is when you cause yourself a lot of pain, because it means that you are in denial, and you cannot get out of a situation if you are in denial. You have to first accept the situation for what it is. I am brokenhearted because such and such left. I do not have a job and I'm depressed. So you're accepting it. But just because you accept the situation for what it is doesn't mean that you're gonna just sit there and do nothing. The next thing is that you have to, because I've already said, you accept the situation. So you're not wasting time regretting. You're not gonna waste time regretting. What you're gonna do is take your lessons from the situation. You're gonna take your lessons from the situation, and you're gonna contemplate, how can I better my position? You have to ask yourself that, how can I better my situation? How can you better your situation? Is it a job that you lost because of whatever reason? Are you going to sit there and not joy? So you're going to try and apply for jobs, or you're going to see if you can start your own business? Is it a relationship that you messed up in and you have regrets? Or the other person messed up in and you're thinking it's your fault? Whatever the case is, you are going to see how you can find solutions. So if you realize that you made a mistake, or if there is something that you can do about that situation, that is what you're going to focus on. You're not going to focus on anybody else's action. You're going to focus on, how can I make my situation better? That's it. You got to focus, how can I make my situation? Ask yourself that. What is it that I can do? I've lost a job because maybe I did not pay as much respect to the job. Maybe I lost the job because it just became redundant. So maybe I need to get a new skill. Maybe I need to start doing better. So it's, every time you have a situation, it's all about reflecting on your attitude, your perception, and you're taking steps to change yourself. And so many times we look outside of ourselves to see if things gonna change out there. We look to see if other people are gonna change. It's like you lost a relationship and looking for the other person to change. You're looking for your employer to change. You're looking for society to change. But the change has to start with you. It has to start with you. So you're going to ask yourself, how can I get out of this situation? So don't waste your time with regret. You're rushing the brush by racing forward. And this is one of the most painful things. Instead of facing the situation for what it is, many people, they rush forward. They hurry their situation forward. And if you are in a painful situation, if you hurry, you're going to mess up. There are times when you have to just relax and you have to take things into perspective and you have to start correcting your actions. Do not rush forward. It doesn't matter what it is. Do not just rush forward. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from the situation that may have happened before you rush forward. Do not look back either, because you look back, you're going to be in the same position. So you've got to deal with the reality. Don't rush forward. Many times we don't want to go through the pain, and that's the one thing that we have to learn to do. As we grow older, we have to learn to go through that pain. We instead of looking for temporary things to fixes, things to come to really to hide. Because sometimes we go to alcohol, we go to sex, we go to drugs, we go to robbery, we go to and many of the things that we go to try and solve the situation are never good for us. That's the thing. So we don't want to go through the pain, so we deal with it in a destructive manner. So if you really want to help yourself out of a depression, you have to start accepting your reality. What is my reality? What is my reality? What is happening in my life? If you accept the reality, then you can take steps. And many times, I think one of the things that we find ourselves in sometimes, it's where relationships are concerned, is that we tend to want to control the outward circumstances where relationships are concerned. And you can't. One of the things I realize is that you can't control people's actions. You cannot control people's actions. So if you are in a situation where you're thinking that you're deserving of a relationship but you're not having it, you cannot control the other person's action. The best thing that you can do if you're in such a situation, if you're in a situation where you're not appreciated, where you're not acknowledged, where the person does not want you, is to move on. Is to accept it. And when I look at life, I see how short life is, it really makes me like, okay, I don't have time to waste. I don't have time to waste. It doesn't mean that I'll be able to switch off my feelings, because many times you're not able to switch off your feelings. It doesn't mean that you're not hurt, but it means that you are not going to stay in that position. So despite your pain, despite your disappointment, you're not sticking in that position because you know it in the long run it's not good for you. So I think this is one of the things that we need to start looking at when in life, when we see things are not going our way, and when you see we have toxic situations, we have to accept it for what it is, and we have to look at our future. Do we have life? And we should appreciate that, and we should have this mindset that we're not gonna waste our life living a lie, living in situations that are painful to us. You have to get yourself out of that. So many times we lie down and we're telling ourselves we're depressed because the other person doesn't want us. Life is not going my way. My situation is not what it seems. I want another job. These are things that we often tell ourselves that we need in order to really think. But sometimes you don't need anything, You don't need another job. You don't need another relationship. You don't even need anything. What you need is to find yourself. That's what you need to do. Find yourself. Sometimes when you're going through this thing and you're telling yourself you need this, you need that, sometimes you just need to find yourself. Because when you find yourself, you're going to be able to love people. You're going to be able to appreciate people. You're going to be able to have feelings for people and yet not act on those feelings. You're going to be able to be at peace with yourself, knowing that even if your love is not returned, even if you do not get the perfect job, even if you do not get the perfect situation, even if you do not have that house that you've been dying for, that you're still content with the life that you have. And this is where we need to reach to this point where we can have those feelings, but yet we are okay. So it's not that you're gonna switch off your feelings about a situation immediately. It takes time, and even with time, sometimes it's like you never get over, for instance, a broken heart. You might not get over all of the feelings. You might get over the pain, but you will still have those feelings for the person. But it doesn't mean that you have to wallow in self-pity. You're accepting that I have feelings for the person. Maybe my situation is not what it wants to be, but at the same time you are content in your situation, knowing that you are okay. And this is the point where we have to reach. So many times we are just lying and wrong. We are wasting our time on people who do not have any time with us, wasting our time getting distracted from our purpose. What is your purpose? And the day you find a purpose is that you're gonna find yourself happier. So if you find yourself being unhappy right now, it's because you haven't found your purpose. So what is your purpose? What is it that is inside of you that you want to bring up? What is it that you want to do to make a difference in the world? These are the things that you need to start asking yourself. You have life, get up every day and appreciate that life, and start looking at life as okay. I am okay as I am. I don't need anything else to make me, because so many times we have these things and we're not happy, so I don't need anything to make me happy outside of myself. You have to reach to that point. All right, guys, so I just really wanted to bring this message tonight, that regardless to your situation, first thing you have to do is that you have to accept it for what it is. Do not go backwards looking at what has happened in the past, except if you are taking the lessons from it. Do not move forward. If the future, I am feeling a little dry throated. If the future doesn't look so happy, so good for you, do not go forward. My throat is a little dry. Honey, give me some water, please. Alright, guys, so I've been talking a long while, so give me a little bit of water, please. Let me. So I've had a dry throat. Just give me a little, please. Alright, guys, so if your future doesn't, if your current situation is very painful, you're gonna look at your future from that situation. And of course, if you look from that point of view, it's not gonna be any happier. So if this is the situation for you, do not fast forward. For God's sake, when you see your situation is painful, do not fast forward. Do not try to escape and thinking that it's gonna be better or worse. Just stay in the moment. It's important that you stay in the moment. Do not, I repeat, do not go forward thinking about the future and thinking what's gonna happen to you. This person is gonna be this, whatever. And don't. Because that is killing yourself. You have to, this is my situation, but this is not gonna determine my journey. It's not gonna determine my destination. You have to be at that point. But once you get that, everything else is gonna fall into place. There are other things that you need to do, because if you're wanting to get out of your situation, then there are other things that you need to do. What are the things you need to do? Like I said, find your purpose. What is the purpose? Whatever it is that you want to do to make a difference in the world. So you gotta be doing something. Because if you're sitting around and you're not doing anything, it's gonna be more painful for you. You got to be doing something with your life. Find something to do, even if you maybe down the road you don't think this is what you want to do. Occupy yourself. Be useful. Start occupying yourself with things that's gonna that you're gonna put your focus on. Because when you do that, then you're taking your focus off whatever situation it is and you're putting it into something that is meaningful. You got to do that. Don't look back unless you're gonna take the lessons. Do not fast forward. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment for whatever reason, whatever the case, just stay in the moment. What else can you do? Meditate. Like I said, I always say meditate. You gotta meditate. You gotta find time to meditate. What do you meditate on? Me, I meditate on the word of God. I meditate on other people's even sometimes people share their experiences with you. You can reflect on those and read their blogs. People read them and you see people went through stuff and they're sharing it with you. Because when they share it with you, maybe you're finding somebody else who's going through the similar situation, who've been through the same situation. And so you're looking at what they went through and you're telling yourself, you know what? I can overcome this. So you have to find the things that are necessary to push you forward. Cannot just sit there and say, oh, I'm going to wait on God. Oh, I'm going to wait on this. I'm going to wait on that person. I'm going to wait on the perfect job. I need a job. I need a different job. Sometimes, you don't even need a different job. You just need to change yourself. That's it, Sometimes it's like, because one of the things a lot of people do is that sometimes and this happens in relationships too, It's like people are, okay, I need a different partner or I need a different job. And sometimes that is not the case. Sometimes it's for you to look at yourself and say, well, maybe it's something that I'm doing. Because if you keep telling yourself you need a different job, you're going to find yourself moving on from one to one. So you have to really know for sure that it's the job that is not fulfilling, if it's you that is you are the problem. So you gotta really figure that out, because if you do not figure that out, you're not gonna reach anywhere. You're gonna find yourself hopping from job to job and not feeling the thing because it's not the job. So it's you gotta be clear on that, and you gotta keep yourself busy. Keep yourself busy doing what? Reading, whatever the case is. Even if you're not working, you don't have to just go on the block and sit down, do nothing. If you're going on the block to sit, it's because you're gonna listen to others speak about their life, and you're gonna take that, because I love to do that from time to time. Just listen to people speak about their experiences, and I'm learning from that. But you're not gonna just go around, oh, I'm gonna go plant weed without a, like right now you plant weed without a license, you get locked up. So basically you're gonna do things that are productive to you, things that are gonna keep you in line, not only with yourself but with the law, because you don't want to mess up your future by doing things that's gonna put you in jail. So you gotta really look at that. So guys, I am loving that tonight, but I just want to say that regardless to what your situation is, don't give up. And if you have the temptation where you're thinking that you're gonna take your life, don't do that, because if you do that, then you will not be able to fulfill your purpose. I know you gotta be in a way that you're, even though you're going through difficulties that you know that you will overcome. If you don't give up, you're gonna overcome, right? So you gotta be in that way that you're telling yourself that I'm gonna overcome. You gotta, and I think too, so many times it's just that we're looking at our current situation. I think that's the biggest thing with us when we get so depressed, is because we're looking at our current situation and we're thinking that our future is just gonna be the same. My past has been a very tough one. And I must say that it's a good thing that I never gave up, because if I gave up, then I would not be doing this that I'm doing. So you have to look at your future. And one of the things I think we need to do more is to have dreams. Look at your, whatever it is that you want to do, see yourself doing that thing. Picture yourself doing those things. And keep walking towards them. The little things. And it's the little habits each day. It's the little habits. There was a time when I used to imagine myself doing this, and I was so scared. And then I took the plunge, and I started doing, before I got to this stage, I started just recording myself without any viewers. And then I posted the videos. And even in those videos, I felt so anxious and so self-conscious. But then as time went by, then one day I decided that I was going to do a live video, and of course I felt another set of discomfort. But what I was doing, it was taking myself to another level. And this is what you need to do in your life. Take yourself to another level. Start small. Whatever it is that you're gonna do, start small. Find the skills that you need. Determine which skills you need for whatever you want to do, and start small. And then as you go, you step your game up. Keep doing that. So you're not staying at one place and you're just feeling the water. You're just feeling, you're not plunging in all at the same time, but you're just feeling yourself. And that's what you gotta do. So when you have a purpose in life, you really do not have time for depression. Honestly speaking, I think a lot of people, they look to things for happiness, but the happiness is your state of mind. Happiness comes from your state of mind. So if you have a state of mind where you're not thinking that your future is the determinant and what is happening to you now, if you have a mindset that regardless to what your circumstance is, know that you're gonna be better. If you're telling yourself that nothing is worth worrying over, nobody is worth worrying over, no situation is worth worrying over to the point where it's affecting your health, then you're gonna find yourself happy. And I have to say that I've been there. And so when you've been there, and many times it's that people who have been there still end up back there. So what is it that you're not doing right? The simplest thing is just living in the moment. If you've been there, so many times you've been in challenging situations and you've overcome. So when you are experiencing another challenging situation, you have to think about the times that you have overcome, and then bring that and bring it into remembrance. That's what you have to do. For me, another thing that I really, and I keep talking about it, is like, for me, prayer does a lot, because when you're praying and you're talking to God, you're really expressing your innermost emotions. And many times we don't express ourselves. Some of us, we bottle everything up inside until one day we just explode. We either kill somebody or we commit suicide. So it's a good thing when you are feeling depressed that you find somebody you can trust to talk to. Find somebody you can trust. Maybe a stranger. Sometimes myself, I do a little, I listen to people. And I say counseling in the sense that I listen to people when people are going through stuff. And I listen to them. And sometimes people just want somebody to listen to. That's all you want sometimes when you're going through challenges. You just want somebody to listen to. Somebody who is just going to not judge you, but just listen to you and just be that support that you need. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like giving up, just treat your situation as temporary, because that's exactly what it is. It's a temporary situation. Don't look forward too much into the future, and do not look backward. Stay in the present until when you find your ground. Until when you're firmly standing again, stay in the present. If you're in pain, stay in the present. Accept the situation for what it is. And do not try to control other people's actions or outward situations. Look at yourself and reflect on your situation and see how you can change from the inside out. And that's basically it, guys. It's in a summary. So whatever you do this weekend, I beg that you reflect on your life and just see life as a blessing for you to bless others. All right, guys, so have a wonderful weekend. Until next week, God's willing. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for the comments. I'll respond to them afterwards. Sometimes I get a little bit distracted when I respond while I'm thinking. But thanks for the comments, guys. I appreciate, and I'll respond to those comments afterwards. All right. So please share. If this video has blessed you, please share it. And feel free to leave your comments. All right. Thanks. Bye.